What's up everyone, this is DR with WoW Breakdown 101, and today we're going to take a look at the 10-man normal Fallen Protectors melee point of view guide in the Siege of Orgrimmar. As always with my point of view guides, I will break the fight down like a puzzle, piece by piece, step by step, to help you get past the encounter. Now I will only discuss what you as a melee DPS are going to be dealing with in this encounter, and will not go over how you will kill this boss as a raid. To know everything there is to know on how to get past this encounter as a raid, click the link below for the 10-man Protectors normal Fat Boss guide. Now the first thing in every encounter is always going to be positioning. As melee, regardless, you will always be on the boss or the ad that you are burning down at the time. There's really no set way to position, as you're going to be all over the place in this encounter. Just make sure you're behind the boss at all times. And one thing you will keep in mind as you move from ad to ad is to pop run speed cooldowns so that you can get there faster. And if there's an ad or a boss on the way to your next target, make sure you DPS them as you run by to help you have as little downtime as possible. I'm going to go over each boss in the encounter and what you will as a melee DPS have to deal with in this encounter, as all three bosses will be up for much of the fight. The first boss I'm going to go over is Rook Stonetoe. Rook will do Vengeful Strikes, which is a frontal cone attack that he will use on the tanks, so watch and make sure you stay at his side or his back, even if you are attacking another target. He will also target a random raid member with Corrupted Brew, which deals shadow damage in a 5-yard radius and slows the person it hits down. This will appear as a green swirl on the ground. You will just move out of it. Finally, Rook will cast Clash, which he will choose a random target and do a spinning corruption kick, dealing damage in a 10-yard area for around 4 seconds. You will move out of this using a run speed buff if possible, and pop a small defensive cooldown. While you're out of this, make sure you have something to attack. If all else fails and the targets are in the middle and just outside of your reach, then just wait the 4 seconds and move back in. Next we will go over Rook's Desperate Measure phases. Once Rook hits 66% and 33% life, he will disappear and summon 3 ads. Embodied Sorrow and Embodied Gloom is the only 2 ads that you are going to worry about as a melee DPS. You will run to Sorrow, who will stay in one spot and cast Infernal Strike, which deals large split damage between all players in 8-yard radius. The person with this will be a large red pulsing orb, so just stack with them and burst Sorrow down fast. Then switch to Gloom. While you're on Gloom, it is time to be a baller and interrupt Corruption Shock, which is a nuke that Gloom will channel. Next I am going to go over He Softfoot and how you will deal with him. He will put Garrote on a random raid member, which is a bleed that deals physical damage. If you have this on you, then just make sure to save your defensive cooldowns for Sorrow's Infernal Strikes and Sun's Calamity abilities, which I will go over soon, as these abilities along with Garrote can put you at dangerous health levels. The other 3 abilities are tank abilities, which you will take note of a couple, and the first one is Gouge. This ability, if the tank handles incorrectly, will stun the tank, and then he will take off to the person with the second highest threat. If you see this happen, then pop a defensive cooldown, taunt he, and call out for large heals until the tank can taunt back, as this can save a wipe. The other ability is Noxious Poison, which will create a poison void zone under the tank's feet that is green. Just don't stand in it when the tank repositions he. During He's Desperate Measures phase, which happens at 66% and 33% of his life, he will summon an ad called Embodied Anguish that will target a random non-tank member, root them in place, and move to their location and begin melee damaging them. Each melee hit applies Shadow Weakness on them that stacks, increasing the damage they take from Anguish. Burn this ad down ASAP, and if it is on you, you will then pop defensive cooldowns that are available and pass it to whoever your raid lead has told you to pass it to by targeting your buddy, clicking the extra action button in the middle of your screen. If you have not done this by now, then you will want to keybind the extra action button so that you can pass Anguish faster. After you have received a melee attack from Anguish, you will have Debilitation, which reduces your armor by 50%. So keep this in mind, as you will take more damage from Garrote and Rook's Corruption Kicks. Finally, we will go over the last of the 3 protectors, Sun. Sun will cast Shah Shear on a random raid member, and from what I can tell is never on melee, so you should never have to worry about this ability. Shadow Word Bane is a dot that she applies to a random raid member, which deals shadow damage and can be dispelled. Just take note if you have this on you, as other damage sources with this can be dangerous. Finally, Calamity is a raid-wide damage that Sun uses, and it deals 30% of your maximum health as shadow damage, so just use defensive cooldowns for as many of these as you can. Now for Sun's Desperate Measures phases, which again comes at 66% and 33% of her life, she will cast Dark Meditation, which damages the entire raid every 0.5 seconds, and you will take less damage if you are in her purple bubble barrier. You will run to the middle of her barrier and take out the small adds, Despair spawns, and Desperation spawns, which spawns from raid members. As you damage these adds, it reflects to the two large adds outside the barrier called Embodied Despair and Embodied Desperation. Once all adds are dead, then Sun will join the fight again. Note, the second Sun comes back, Rook will cast Clash and do his Corruption Kick, so be ready to move from it. I will tell you that the common strat is you will repeat pushing each boss in their Desperate Measures phases, and once all are under 30%, your raid should stack the bosses together at this point, and you will make sure to bring them all down together at once, because once you have killed one boss, you will have 10 seconds to kill the other two bosses, or that boss will heal back up. That is all I have for this guide, so get out there and have fun. I hope this guide helped you. If so, give it a like, share, and subscribe would be very helpful. If you have any suggestions for future videos, then leave a comment or email me at thewowbreakdown@gmail.com. And see you again next time, guys.